One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. I am a guy from a place, Charm City Bipper, Keys the Vandal. Marquis' name, my mom gave me. I am going over another one. This topic is social media and its impact or influence on relationships. Shout out to Majesty. And shout out to Nicole. Shout out to We Responders Incorporated. Love your business and grateful for you and all you do in community. She asked me about self-love. And we talk about self-love. We all talk about it, right? But they kind of intertwine, right? Social media and its impact or influence on relationships. I don't have all the answers for this one. But some things I have thought about, some questions I have asked are, do you have to be on social media? What is your purpose on social media? When you define your purpose on it, it's easier to be in the space. I've spoken about media literacy because I taught at a middle school and a lot of the kids were very locked into TikTok, very much on social media as much as I was. Some of them have found my page and it was awkward. I'm like, I don't want middle schoolers looking at my Instagram. I look like I'm in middle school to some of these people. I look like I'm in early high school, leaving high school. Some of the kids thought I was 17 or 18, so that was awkward. I'm a grown man. I'm 27, but life happens, right? So I'm mentioning that just to say, like, social media is this fake world that's like trying to imitate the real world. And I grew up watching a lot of movies. So I'm laughing as I talk about media literacy because movies paint a world that isn't real. It's like very contingent on what the story wants to tell. And you can take liberties that you can't in real life. Social media, to me, is just movies. It's another form of entertainment. The problem comes in where there aren't actors, they're real people. These are real people's lives. So you can take liberties in this space that you cannot take in real life. So there's things that I can tell you all about my life that may not be true. And I may be the only voice to speak on them. That's how powerful we are in this space. So when people are coming into the space inauthentically and then telling people what their lives have to be, it becomes problematic. Very problematic. Like, I don't like the conversations about relationships, mostly because they are not acknowledging how individualistic relationships are. It's so much based on the person and their preferences. And I think a lot of times when we paint life with such a broad brush, we're expecting a group of people or a person that is a part of a group of people to have certain preferences they don't have. There are black men who do not like hip hop. It's just a reality. There are black men who do not exclusively date black women. I date black women. I love black women, but I know there's brothers out here that don't. And they are not bad people for it. They just have a preference. I think we all have a preference. And when certain topics hit the biggest fear, everybody has to deny their preference in this moment to acknowledge how wrong someone is. Everybody has to deny that they have preferences. Like, oh no, you can't ask a man to do this. It's like, yes, she can ask a man to do that. That is her standard. If she wants to date a man who makes 6 figures, she will have to find that in her own time. If you believe she can't find it, who cares? Like, do you have to express that? And I'm on a tangent, but it's a wide topic. Zeroing in specifically on what it's like to be in a relationship and manage social media, I think that is, again, something that has to be communicated well with your partner. I'm on social media. I'm a public face, but there's a lot of things I like to keep private. I don't like for people to know who I'm dating, why I'm dating them, where I met them. I really don't care for all of that all the time. That's my preference. And I've been fortunate to have partners that don't want to do the relationship thing on social media. It may be a day where I do, so I don't completely rule it out. But I'm the type of person that would get married and not tell anybody. Like, I really don't want to, I don't like to share it because I haven't seen a benefit from it. I don't really think there's a lot to gain from giving my personal details in relationships to the world in that way. I think that it does benefit other people to have examples of what it's like to be in relationships, but it's such a individualistic process. I'm just big on know yourself. Know yourself, know what your preferences are. Find a way to honor your preferences without dishonoring somebody else. If you like white girls, you don't have to say like, yo, I like white girls because black girls ain't this. Like, just like your white girls in silence. If you like white guys, just say it's because you like white guys, not because black men aren't showing up a certain way. There may be black men who don't show up that way, but it's not true to the full experience. And when we try to make things true to the full experience, it denies somebody else's experience. So I often recommend like taking breaks from social media. Take a social media fast if it's something that you feel is distracting you or making you feel like your experience isn't enough. Major on making you feel like your experience isn't enough. If you catch yourself saying, oh, why don't I have this after you get off social media, like probably check in on that. Like, I was thinking about that one time. Like, I felt like I wasn't doing enough at one point. And then I was looking at other people like they're not doing enough. And I truly don't know what their life is. Like, there's people who are doing things that I don't agree with online, and then I have to be conscious of the fact that like they could be showing up as the best daughter to their parents. They could be showing up as the best mother to their children. And we don't know that. Specifically, some of these people that are constantly in headlines, like they look absurd at times. They're doing things that reflect poorly on us as a race at times, if that's a thing. Like, you know, I won't say that, but they do things that are reflecting poorly on community that don't shine the best light on us as a group. But then there's the conscious reality that we aren't a monolith. So I think that is something that I've been dealing with a lot. Tangent again, but I'm dealing and thinking about that. I'm thinking about how monolithic our experience has been. So that whole joke of like, if you haven't seen this movie, you ain't black. If you ain't done this, you ain't black. And it's like, we started it, and it went so far that like Joey B got on the club where they eat breakfast, and he said some wild stuff. He said, oh, y'all, you don't come vote, you ain't. And I'm like, oh. So again, this is just social media overall. Social media is influencing everything, not just relationships. And relationships are a byproduct of the way that we treat ourselves. So we can only have the types of relationships that we have with ourselves. They're just an extension of the relationship we have with ourselves. So I think about like, I don't go for that. You know, right? I don't go for that. They might go for that. I don't go for that. It's a thing of respect, right? The respect and the standards I set for myself for the things I expect in my space. I'm not holding it over nobody's head to the point of like, I'm gonna shame you out my space, but like, you gonna get the message. Oh, Keys wake up at 5 a.m. and he do yoga. I can't keep up with that. Don't try to be in my space, because then you'll have to be removed. But if you mess with people, you mess with people. You don't. And yeah, the biggest part in looking at social media is you have more power over it than you've been told. Just because you follow somebody since you graduated high school doesn't mean you have to keep following them. And messed up, so I gotta come back like this. But just because you follow somebody since high school doesn't mean you have to keep following them. Just because it's something that's been true to your experience for a long time doesn't mean it has to keep being that way. So don't be complacent with who you follow. Activate that unfollow button. Activate that block button. Click those ads that keep coming up that don't speak to your experience. Say I'm not interested on that explore page that got all of the models that are distracting you from the beauty that your partner is. Both ends, right? Don't follow gossip pages. Like, if you follow a gossip page, be conscious that you're following it. So when your day feels slightly off and you're thinking about something longer than you have to, or you have some really strong opinion about something that doesn't really speak to your experience or matter, you got more agency. But I'm really big on just taking your power back. Social media is not influencing, it's not going to impact my relationship in a major way unless I allow it to. I've had arguments with partners about things going on social media. And like, as life went on, I recognized, like, why were we even arguing about that? Why were we arguing about what's going on in somebody else's household? Why are we arguing about somebody's impact on society when we both have our own individual impacts on society and we can go do things that like make this experience better? Like, I was definitely Hotep, and like, I think that they should show up in this way so it can inspire these people to do. And it was like, I think that I can show up in this way so that it can inspire people the best it can. And there are days where I still do get mad. I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna play with it. There are days where I still get mad. And then I just gotta check myself and breathe and go do some yoga and go write something and go make a song and go talk to my grandmama and call my mama up and tell her I love her. Like, just remember, like, all of this is cap. All of this social media is cap. Like, people that have that got motion, they might have it in real life and they might not. And if they don't have it in real life, they not likely to tell you they not have emotion in real life. Like, I'm gonna let you know, my life was, I was going through some things. I went through some things this year. But the blessing was like community filled in the gaps. I lost a family member. I lost bread. I went into some debts. I didn't manage every opportunity properly. Like, life just was lifing. But then it was choices I was making, so I had to be accountable for them. Just see what it is. You ain't gotta be perfect. You just gotta keep working. So yes, overall, yeah. And I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Like, how are you feeling about it specifically? So I can speak specifically to it. But yeah, social media is wild. Social media is nuts. Like, if you haven't seen the documentary on Netflix about the intentional ways that they'll, like, it's crafted, then you need to watch that. We really have to be conscious of the power of media. And I don't think people know enough to speak about why it isn't powerful, but there are songs that are stuck in your head. I can mumble certain melodies and you'll know the song. You'll fill in the lyrics. That's how powerful this is. Like, I learned my ABCs through song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Why is that still in my head to this day? Because that's how powerful these things are. So when we deny the power of it and play like, oh, this isn't impacting us, it's cat. But we have to be honest about the fact that it's impacting us so we can figure out ways to minimize that impact. So I had to be honest, like, oh, social media do make me feel away. So maybe I limit how much I'm on social media. Maybe I don't have those discussions with my partner that are not serving us, that are actually having us at odds. Like, this black woman should be this. No, because black men is like, why are we arguing for individuals that don't help our relationship? They don't put no money in our pockets. They don't, like, help nobody in our community. They don't love nobody that we expressively, like, care for. So why are they having any space in our conversation? Questions, right? More questions, more conversation, more honest reflection. And being honest about how we show up in this process. But yeah, don't let that media come in between nothing you after. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be boring. I'm gonna make a video about that. It's okay to be boring. It's okay to be regular. Like a regular. I'm tired of this, yo. It's okay to be regular in all the ways. Yeah, this is my next video. But yeah. Shout out to all of the people that have inspired me to do this. Shout out to the families. Shout out to everybody in this holiday season. I hope y'all staying safe. I hope y'all staying warm. If you feeling like you going through something, speak to somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody like me all the time. Speak to somebody that just reminds you that you're enough. Maybe visit an old school or something. Visit a space that you haven't been to in a while. Reach out to somebody you haven't reached out to in a while. Maybe talk to that professor who gave you the A at the last minute and just tell them how you've enjoyed your career, or just tell them that you reached some obstacles in your career that you just ain't really caring about, and like talk to that old coach, talk to the old pastor who gave you a good word if they was good people. Like, talk to somebody. Talk about somebody you ain't talked to in a while and just share some memories, share some love, share some joy, right? Share some joy. Because not guaranteed this. And every breath we take, man, every moment we get is a blessing. And like I said, it get heavy. It get heavy. I ain't gonna pretend it don't, man. But the beautiful part is, like I read something that said when it's dark, it could mean you plant it. It could mean you're planted. You rooted. You get invested in that soul, and when you're down there, man, you get the opportunity to grow into something beautiful. And don't always look at the dark moments as an ending. Look at it as an opportunity to grow into something new, and look at it as a new beginning. Look at it as joy. You dig? As I always say, man, one day made better, as many days made greater. I'm uplifting you to be in a world that cares. If I keep it to myself, I think that's unfair. The joys I've been given, the best one shared. Visionaries never die, legends survive. Through the seas we sow daily, we get better with time. Peace, prosperity, many blessings. Bip, bip, bippity. Yeah. We were searching for the right way, did a lot of wrong. Can't go back, gotta move on. Gotta move forward, corrections given and accept the living. Still brings pain, even when you're moving with the best intentions. And you blessed with visions of joy, bliss, peace. Gratitude for every day I live to speak and I live to breathe in growth and abundance.